Good morning, Bridget.
So we are going to be talking about an event that you all have coming up. So we're going to have you tell us about the Critical Networks in Manufacturing Forum and why this event is important for our region.
Yeah, absolutely. So pleasure to be here today. Skylar, Randolph, and Madison, Lundy with Peak Performance.
Yeah.
We're very excited to kick off our Critical Networks in Manufacturing Forum. It's coming up July 31st. It's a free complimentary event for the community. And why it's so important is because I think we've all been exposed in some form or fashion to cybersecurity risk and threats, right? We're seeing more phishing scams and emails now than we've ever seen before. There's voice recognition with some of these spam and robocalls. Well, our businesses and our manufacturers are faced with some of those same threats that they're seeing on a daily basis. So it's really excited. We're going to have some roundtable discussions around that, how they can protect themselves and stay safe and stay online. We're also going to be talking about some new technologies that's going to be entering this space, how it's going to make processes more optimized and more efficient, right? How we're going to be able to compute more data. So we're really excited about the event and just how everyone here in our region can benefit from it.
We're talking with our friends from Peak Performance. So what are some of those biggest challenges that manufacturers are facing right now when it comes to connectivity and cybersecurity?
Yeah, I think just looking back, going back and looking at some of the history of kind of where we've come from to where we are now, you look at, industry 2.0, right? Just kind of building machines and electrical power. Then it kind of morphs into computers, right? Computing data. Well, now manufacturers are faced with a plethora, a bevy of different issues where maybe their machines are down, maybe they're facing significant downtime, and maybe they just don't have the processing power to figure out what some of those challenges or how to isolate those problems. Really, with some of the new technology, specifically quantum technology, we'll be able to really isolate and assess problems a lot quicker, a lot faster. This will help manufacturers get online and help them even continue to streamline their process.
We're talking with Madison, Lundy, and Skylar Randolph from Peak Performance, talking about the Critical Networks and Manufacturing Forum coming up on July 31st at the Smart Factory Institute inside the Pi Center here in Cleveland. So talk to us about who will be speaking at this event.
Yeah, Madison, Lundy. So we have Klint Walker from the United States Homeland Security, and then Janet Rehberg, who is our keynote speaker, and she's from EPB. So they will be speaking there.
Sounds like a great lineup there. So what can local manufacturers expect to learn or take away from this event?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're on the dawn of a new day as we're entering into a new space. We need to be safer. Our systems need to be safer. With quantum technology, it'll allow manufacturers to really fully encrypt some of their information, fully secure that information so it's passed throughout where it needs to be. Wireless connectivity, right? Staying online, making sure that wherever they are throughout their plant or through their manufacturing facility, they're fully connected so they can share that information and that data a lot quicker. And again, like we talked about just a little bit earlier, being able to assess and isolate specific problems. That quantum technology is going to be able to assess these, get data out a lot quicker, process that data a lot quicker, be able to conceptualize and visualize how they can really optimize those processes. And of course, with Klint Walker, with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, I think everyone in our community should fully be invested and be interested in those topics, right? How can we stay safe? How can we keep our customers and our client base and our vendors safe as far as sharing information, especially as we're transitioning into putting everything into data storage clouds? So we're really excited about both of these presenters coming up for this event.
So you mentioned quantum technology is still new to a lot of people. So how will this event help manufacturers understand it better?
Yeah, Janet Rehberg, we're really excited about her. She's doing a keynote presentation on quantum technologies. She's really going to do a fantastic job of really identifying where we are now currently in our processes and how quantum technology is coming into the space and how it's going to help improve those. I think the biggest thing that I'm excited to learn about is the data, how they'll be able to protect and share their data, how they'll be able to secure that data. And she's going to really do a great job of kind of simplifying what that quantum technology will look like, how it will directly impact manufacturers.
Again, we're talking with Skylar Randolph, Madison Lundy from Peak Performance here in Cleveland. So if you would give us some real world examples of cyber threats in the manufacturing industry and why this conversation is so critical.
Yeah, absolutely. I know in working directly with manufacturers, I've heard a few horror stories. I have heard a few horror stories where a manufacturer maybe have used a cloud space, or maybe they've used iPads, and then certain situations where maybe they have been hacked, or they've been held ransom for an extended period of time. A situation like that is critical. If you are faced with a cybersecurity threat where they've hacked your system and they're holding you ransom, that can impact output, that can impact production where maybe you've shut down. And that's something that we want to be able to protect our businesses and industry here throughout the region, to be able to see some of those threats and some of the best practices. I think what we'll learn throughout this event is there's going to be some additional steps that we all can take outside of just being conscious and being aware of scam emails. There may be some additional resources and best practices that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security can educate us on to stay more safe and secure.
It's the Critical Networks and Manufacturing Forum coming up on July 31st at the Smart Factory Institute at the Pi Center here in Cleveland. So how can someone get registered for this event, and is there a cost?
Yeah, so it is free to attend, and all you have to do is go onto our Facebook page at Peak Performance Inc. And we have pinged or marked that post, so it'll be the first thing that pops up. So if you just go onto Peak Performance Inc. on our Facebook page, that's the way that you can get set up and register, and then we'd love for everybody to come out.
All right, and then finally, will there be any opportunities for networking or additional learning beyond the speaker sessions?
Absolutely. It's always highly encouraged at our events. I think for us, it is that combination of educating our audience, but also facilitating quality connections. And I think that's really what personifies the Smart Factory Institute in general right here in Cleveland, Tennessee. We want to be able to facilitate those networking opportunities, those connections. I know our sponsors will be there, our partners will be there, and it's a great opportunity to really conduct and pass business opportunities.
Yeah, and we want to thank our sponsors, TVA, EPB, Cleveland Utilities, and T-Mobile. That will be all at the event.
All righty, sounds good. Skylar, great to see you. Madison,
Always.
great to meet
Thank
you.
you for
Like I
having
said,
me.
you're pretty new to the team there at Peak Performance. We appreciate you all coming in. Our friend Jessica here with us as well. Great to see you both, and I know this is going to be a great event.
Yeah, very excited.
Thank you.